Welcome to Banking on Experience, the one-stop shop for all your financial services tips and tricks, the future of business and the future of the customer. Here is your host from CRM Next.
So Steve, we met, at a gathering of credit union CIOs, and I think there's something special in what you brought to that discussion. And the more we've had a chance to work together, I've just really seen some things that are really special at Dupaco. And I know you've been there 20 years, and Dupaco last year, grew 11%, just at 1.9 billion now. But there's something in the culture, and there's something in the way that technology is being brought to help you service members and serve, and enable your team. And so I thought, it would be great to just let you sort of weigh in a little bit on how you are thinking, today about things and choices that you made and the direction of things. And I'll pause there and just sort of open it up on sort of the way your strategy has been and some of the things that you've done and where you think you see things going into the future.
Sure. Some of the really intentional things about Dupaco is our commitment to those relationships at a level that I think is hard to top. It's really in our DNA. It's in every discussion that we have. It doesn't matter what the topic is. It always comes back to what's in it for our members and what's in it for our employees. That's just a tried and true way of looking at every decision that we make. And because of that, and because that's been in place for so long, I think it positions us well to look at technology as an enabler, as something that gives our staff a chance to talk to people and not stare at their computer screens is one of the big things we're always looking for. That's the efficiency side. But for us, the efficiency isn't really about saving money or saving staff time. It's about opening up opportunities to have conversations instead of data entry or moving from one screen to another. And when you can take processes that interfere with conversations away, that really makes people feel good. Our staff love to have conversations. Our members love to have conversations, and that's kind of how I look at my job, to make sure that we're enabling that. For our people.
It's been obvious in our discussions that there's been an intentional thing over the 20 years that you've been involved, right, to use technology. And a lot of people talk about member experience, but don't really get it at that level that you're talking about, the team member experience, and simplifying the work and getting them so that they can focus. We're talking to each other over Zoom right now, but to be able to talk to the member, whether it's side by side or, when people are having to work from home or using Zoom, and, perhaps Zoom banking is going to become an extension of the branch, but it's still that person to person side of things, and technology is there to enable it, not, necessarily replace it. I mean, I think you guys have found this blend of convenience and care that I think is pretty exceptional. And so, as you were looking at that, you've got this sort of guiding principle. Have there been some tactical things? I mean, I think as you look to CEOs and other CIOs in credit unions on some of the choices they need to make to, look at work or look at processes, is there something that you can think that are good guideposts for them?
I think some things that we've done in the past that really have helped us through this last few weeks of complete disruption was that you said something interesting earlier. You used a phrase, care and convenience. And I think that fits very well into what we think about. We've always said we want to give our members the choice to work with us however they want to work with us. And if that means sitting at an MSR desk for 2 hours or a 10-second balance check on our mobile app, in between that spectrum, there's a lot of opportunities to meet a member's expectations in a variety of ways, whether it's through technology or enabling the staff to do what they do. And I think because of that, yes, this COVID experience has been very disruptive to how we work, but we haven't had to say we can't do that because of some of the quick reactions that we had to it and the things that we had in place already. Whether it was the remote access and voice over IP that we've had for decades, that we just naturally moved people from their desk to their home without really even a lot of effort, quite honestly, or just good investments in shared branching and our video tellers. Those have been invaluable in our drive-ups because we've closed all of our lobbies, and we're still able to give a nice experience to the member through those channels. So you don't always think of, is what I'm doing today going to enable business continuity?
Yeah.
And sometimes
no one could have seen this one coming.
Absolutely. I know I didn't. In fact, while we had a pandemic plan that we put in place, I think in 2008 and 2009, nobody really ever expected that we were going to have to execute it, but here we are, and it held up 10 years later. And then I think it held up because our natural tendency to look at not just convenience but functionality, and we're really, really intense on member experience and process experience. So all of those things kind of just naturally enabled us to get through this pretty well.
Well, it's really clear, and the fact that you're working from home and you've been able to be effective, and your team's been able to be effective, and you don't have a huge team, but you've had a remarkable team. We've had the opportunity to work with them, and I just think there's that culture, and I think your definition of digital is the one we share, right? It's not just about self-service. Digital's there. There's very little in the bank other than humans and some cash handling that aren't digital, right? And so, really, how does digital support that convenience and care, right? Making it possible for your team, as you said, to focus on the member and know the member, and to have really an efficient way to work. Whether it's member has a request that has to go front office to back office, and knowing where things are and getting that organized and continuing to improve there, all the way through to getting things together so it's easier and easier for them to make a request or do something for the member, and extending that out into mobile. I have watched your mobile evolve, and you continue to make that seamless, whether they start in digital or and change their mind, right? I don't think a customer, I think we agree on this, that a customer isn't a digital customer, or a branch customer. They're a member, excuse me. And at different parts of their needs, they're going to use different things, right? That's
absolutely.
They lose their wallet, they might not jump in the mobile app. They might get on the phone and I lost my wallet, But and it's of any age, right? And I think as you're talking about the ITMs, and it's interesting. We didn't see this coming, but you look at what the ITM does and what we're doing right now, right? And is Zoom banking? That. Is that going to be something where people don't drive but work collaboratively again, and the work that technology is doing to fit that in, like you've done with VoIP?
When it comes to video, it's definitely something that we've been talking about and thinking about and piloting here and there for several years, and have had some success with it, but never really formalized what does it mean? Yeah. How does it get implemented? How do we do this as a regular day-to-day thing, as opposed to, hey, let's try this tomorrow? And so this has accelerated that research, and this was a perfect opportunity for some staff that usually are face to face out in the business place, meeting with members, and they can't do that anymore. So they're really driving this. Hey, it's time. It's time to figure out how to do this. We're doing it with each other. Let's do it with our members. And so, yeah, that was another thing that wasn't on it was kind of on our radar a little bit this year in some pilot situations, but we've just driven full-fledged into making it reality. And we'll come out better for that, I think, eventually, once we kind of wrap something around it that gives it sense.
Yeah, no, I think I'm excited about that because I helped invent some of the original technology, and it was amazing. As I'll share with you down the line, but I mean, it was in 1996, March of '96, we launched the first web conferencing, and it's strange how it's March and we just got into April, and just remarkable to see. We knew it would bring people together. We knew that content-centered interaction and human interaction, and Eric Yuan, who's the CEO of Zoom, is a friend, and they've done a lot for the world. I think they've had a few people go after them because meeting IDs, getting published, and there's everything.
No good technology goes undisturbed.
Undisturbed, So, but I do think it's very, very interesting how bringing multiple people in, and the experience that we're working with you on, and I think that you're looking to build, so that when you're sitting side by side, you can share your screen. People can see side by side. That there's a transparency that's in your organization, and the member experience, and how that fits into this, right? Or fits into any other process where it's person-to-person process, or even bringing in another expert. And so many people have talked about putting this in at the branch, right, so that members could get to a mortgage specialist or a small business lending specialist. And COVID has made that people doing it from home, and people having parties. I don't think it's anything we'd all choose, but I think it is. I think that what is digital banking, and what is, how do you manage and build relationships and provide convenience and care, you guys are so well set up for. And you didn't eat the elephant all at once.
Not at all.
When I think you've talked about process improvement or others. Is there places you think about other credit unions? I worked with quite a few. I know you talked to quite a number of them. A lot of them are doing request management in email. Do you think that that's one of the places, so that people know what's going on between front office and back office? Where did you guys sort of start that journey?
It's had a number of iterations over the years, and I think ultimately the goal has always been to several goals. Efficiently move work through the organization when it needs to transition from person to person or department to department. I mean, ultimately that's the problem that we're always trying to solve. Make it better, make it better, make it better. Another important component of that is being able to track that work. Yeah. And again, for us, it's not being able to track, did Sally do X number of somethings today? For us, it's, are we solving members' problems? Are we solving staff's problems? And are there any gaps in the way that we do that? And the transparency across the organization for, we really want, we want to be able to assist somebody whether we started the process or not, and without a way of visibly seeing that error resolution or request resolution, because ultimately it kind of comes down to those two big buckets. I need something, or something's broken, and that can mean a lot of different things. But you have to be able to get that work to the right people, and then you have to see how it's happening, and if something stalls, you have to be aware of it. And if somebody needs you to pick up where they left off, you should be able to do that. So
Yeah.
there's been a number of different ways we've solved that over the years. And obviously with our relationship, that's kind of our next phase is getting enterprise wide, because we have different solutions for different types of groups and different types of work. And we really need to wrap that all together into one platform.
Yeah, it's really so exciting, because I think relationship management and member experience, the way, what your true north and what, excited me when we first met and as we work together, I think your organization holds up a great model that others can follow. And what I love about credit unions, is that people don't try to keep it a secret. It's not easy, but it's not impossible, and you don't have to eat the elephant all at once. That you can crawl, walk, run. Banks are all, credit unions, are always going to be made up of different systems. A lending system isn't the same as a core, and people trying to use different systems, and people having to navigate different systems has some challenges. And there's a way to bring, something that helps manage outcomes, visible outcomes. And it's amazing, because it's as simple as things like card compromised or others, where you look at that process and you look at the member onboarding process, and making sure that things get to people and they get activated. Or I was just using that as a little example, because there isn't anybody who'll watch this podcast that doesn't have a card compromise list. They come in for everybody, and whether it's debit or credit, and and how the member's made aware, and how that card gets delivered, and making sure that it gets activated is just a little mini process that I always love to bring up, because it's always one of the ones that everybody thinks of it as a corner case, but it's just there. It's going
every one of your processes. It's always fascinating to me when you start peeling it away and really looking at everything that you do. And if you take something specific and find all of the right people that are involved in it, I never cease to be amazed at how many moving parts there are to things that on the surface look really simple, and how many opportunities for failure that you have in those processes, and the needs that you have to make sure that those failures, when they happen, are known and reacted to quickly, and dealt with appropriately, and everything you can do to assist from a tech standpoint, not having those failures in the first place is great. Yeah. But you also have to accommodate the reality that they're going to happen, and what do you do about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's proven out with the way you guys have been able to work through and support the community through COVID, and being very active in PPP and others that everybody needs. And I always come back to we're the land of opportunity, because of what you do every day, and what the credit unions are doing every day to extend credit, to give people the convenience and care they need to make good financial decisions. And I think Dupaco continues to grow, not just bigger but better, right? You constantly are looking at how to be better, and I just think that's a phenomenal example to everyone. So I'm looking forward to having some more discussions on this, but I definitely want to congratulate the team, and thank the team. I think we all look at first responders, and I thought Jim Nusley from the NAQSO made a comment about financial first responders, and none of the aid money that is out there is going to get into anyone's hands if it's not without it needs your help and the help of others like you, and I think it's just been remarkable for Iowa that you guys have been there, and you've made it a process that people can go at. And I think that's the benefit of forethought. And I think there's more that can continue to be done. And as you say, it's an iterative process. We're never done, but the progress is always there. And I'm really excited that hopefully some people will get some takeaways from this as they look at tactical choices they need to make that fit within a strategic framework. and just an example from you guys and in the industry on how that wins over time. So I appreciate your time on the blog.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. We believe wholeheartedly that if you take care of your members and you take care of your staff, that the rest works itself out. And that's what this has been about the last 6 weeks, is making sure that we're taking care of those two two sets of people, and keeping our eye on that ball. And then it feels really good to help people. And there's a lot of people that need help.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. And I greatly value our partnership and do it together. So thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Banking on Experience. Remember to tune in each week and subscribe, where we aim to simplify work, drive growth, and deliver on experience.